All right, guys. Thanks everyone for joining us. We've got skills coach and analyst Labeeb Levy, and we've got JD Schickerling. Guys, maybe I can just start. We Tuesday afternoon now. Obviously, we follow on the track, make plans for the weekend. We feel like we've got some good plans. Got to Kimberley and get the job done.
Yeah, no, we have actually put obviously a lot of meetings. Post the weekends and put some plans together, made a few tweaks. Hopefully, we can bring the obviously has to bring the result which we want.
Okay, JD, from a player perspective, how do you feel the guys have approached the week? Good energy, good plans that we're going forward looking.
Yeah, obviously Monday was a bit tough for us, but we needed it, so we had to have the necessary meetings to see what we did wrong and how we could have progressed from there. But yeah, I mean, we've put it behind us now, and yeah, we're just focusing on the results.
But do you feel like we learned some good lessons on the weekend, things that we can apply going forward, and hopefully make sure that we're sharper?
Yeah, we have obviously learned a few lessons, and obviously we had to reflect on various aspects which we want to improve, and the coach got really working hard to fix those things which we've seen identified, and the players as well. They also have shown commitment or given commitment that there will be a turnaround this weekend.
Cool. All right, guys. Any questions from your side for these two? We can fire away.
But maybe the biggest question, Michael, is maybe if the coach can stand closer to the mic. We can't hear him properly, if you don't mind.
All right, how's that?
That's the question.
Am I fitting in?
Yeah, we got it.
Labeeb, hi, it's Stephen here. I hope you're well under the circumstances. You mentioned the lessons learned. Can you extrapolate a bit on or expand on that for us a bit? Thank you.
Yeah, well, there are certain aspects which obviously have to improve on. Obviously, we'd like to put this weekend, as we spoke to the defensive coach, obviously he's been the best coach all year, whole season, and we a lesson that we want, obviously, that we expect a bit more commitment from the players. We tweak certain aspects system-wise, but just more commitment on defense, because that was obviously a big thing, well, issue which hurt us in stages in the game. Other thing was that, example, some more defense, which JD can probably elaborate on. It was identified as an issue again. System, maybe a tweak here and there, but just obviously the best way to stop a more before even going technically is to just show 100% or 120% more commitment in wanting to stop those aspects of the game.
JD, speaking about defence, obviously that's that's often said in a team's defence. You can also see good commitment to one another. So obviously defence is quite a sore point. Do you guys 100% trust the system? Or was it just a poor day from a player's point of view?
Yeah, I think it was just a poor day from a player's point of view. We trust our system. We've got a good system in place. Yeah, I think it was just errors from the players, basically. So, yeah, but we fixed it.
If I can maybe direct this question to the coach, it's Rudolph here from the Citizen. I just want to ask you, obviously, the Bulls have received a lot of credit for their performance last weekend. Do you think maybe out of analysis point of view that you were slow on defense on the day, maybe just an off day at the office?
Yeah, I think well, we've covered it now, but there were aspects probably a bit of work rate, post tackle. There was probably a system error I think there was a second try of the scrum. We were a bit unlucky also, I felt at times, when looking at the clips when they had scored tries, because we had maybe two players tackling one person, and and they tackle them maybe around the body, etc. But they still manage in some way to get the ball away. So we've actually just had a session now, and we can just see the difference in intensity and the way the tackling has stuck, and done extra work on defense already. And I'm positive that the defense coach, and I had a chat to him also, he's also very not bullish, but also keen to sort it out. But like JD said, the guys trust the system. It worked in Super Rugby against international comp. It's obviously a local comp now, and there were errors, there were unlucky moments, which I felt which hurt us. Like again, the second try, prior to the second try, Warwick put actually a brilliant kick through off his left foot, and the ball just bounced over the dead ball line. If it had bounced out, in their lineup, they would probably have exited, and we would probably have had an attacking lineup with the potential to score. And at that stage, the game was pretty tight. They went to score after that scrum. But just to answer your question, we still back our team's defense.
JD, I know you weren't there for the Pumas game, but it's you guys have had this big collapse early on in games, and you had a fantastic comeback against the Pumas, and it looks like you guys, before the game against the Bulls was called off, it looked like you guys were coming back strongly again. Can you put your finger on why it is that you have this early issue, this early collapse, and then come back strongly? Maybe JD and Labeeb, maybe you can also give your view on that, please.
Yeah, I mean, we have been struggling the first few games with getting a good start, and it's something we did speak about, especially because we saw we can play like against the Pumas when we came on. I mean, then we did brilliantly, and then actually the Bulls game was the first time I felt we actually started well that first 20, and then I don't know, something like as if we took our foot off the pedal or something. So it is something we are speaking about, and that's why we're actually working on this that we must play an 80-minute game, and we must play very well against Griquas to build our momentum again and getting our confidence back.
Yeah, just to touch upon the question, if you look in terms of, if you take the second half in its context, so there was 25 minutes played, and we lost it 7-0 basically, which is only they scored one time in the second half, and we were looking to score in terms of we had created half chances, one or two chances in that few minutes before the game was called off. Interesting enough, we had our first scrum was about to happen, our ball on the line before it was blown off, and we had felt that we could have at least restored a little bit of pride by putting more points on the board, creating more opportunities, because you guys also have to admit with us in that second half, it seemed as if we played with a bit more urgency, more decision making, more commitment. We lost a few balls also on their line, when we got to their 22, we were penalized twice or thrice, which is something we're looking at fixing as well. More intention close to the line, especially.
Labeeb, ask you, just looking forward to the Griquas game. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, just looking forward to the Griquas game. You guys haven't really performed, or things haven't gone your way since the start of the season. But now, looking forward, do you think that perhaps this could be a turning point for you guys? That you had enough of a wake-up call, and it's time for you guys to now perform. Is that the attitude that you're going to take going forward now into this game?
It's quite interestingly, it had actually come up in our coaching. In our coaching meetings, as well as even with the players, we have to make it our turning point. what's the word we used? The beginning didn't. What's the beginning didn't start the way we wanted it, but we have control of how we wanted to end. So we didn't start the way we wanted to, but we have an opportunity to end it the way we would like it to. And we obviously everyone was tested in terms of mentally, emotionally, you know. And but I think we've put that. We have to put it behind us and focus on what's happening going forward. And our coaching staff are working very hard, as well as our players. And we still got a few plans in the week to ensure that we get the team in peak physical, but as well as a good mental state to go play a very important rugby game on Saturday.
And just talking about the team, are you guys maybe looking at look in an ideal situation? This probably would have been the game that you would have targeted to arrest some players or to to rotate.
Yeah.
Are you looking that is the plan still to rotate and make changes?
Yeah, I think the question is, are we planning to make tweak changes? Yes, it's obviously it's a difficult one because after a tough loss, you want to be as strong as possible in order to go fix it. But we also felt we want to be mature in terms of the bigger picture, because after this game we've got Cheetahs, then Sharks. Not that because it's a tough game. So we are looking at making some tweaks, just to look at freshening up in certain positions and just getting some form of rotation going, and hopefully they can also help freshen and bring and add to the energy that we're hoping to bring this week as well as Saturday. For a big energy focus, basically our buzzword on training as well as in the match, in our meetings, as well as for game day. So we are looking for that.
Griquas was away from home is not a when they play away from home, they not they don't have this as good results as them playing on in Kimberley. And we saw the last 2 years they struggled. I mean, you guys struggled there. I don't think you actually won there. Is that correct? The last 2 years.
Yeah, we didn't struggle. We actually lost 2019 and
Stormers made the
yeah. Well, not Stormers, but the region. The region, and now we do realize that, but we also see it as an opportunity, obviously, to as well as to get some pride back, but as well as to we haven't won in 3 years basically, so it's an opportunity for us to guard there and show that we can win away and in a cold run like Kimberley, which will be tough. They've also come over big they've come over big loss themselves. And obviously their state might also be, listen, we won this for our pride, but we just feel that our pride is going to be more than the other sector, and we're 100% sure the players are going to give every single ounce of energy for the game to bring the result.
Thank you.
Right, guys, are we done? Is that any more questions?
Mike, can I ask you a question?
Yes, go for it.
Hi, Labeeb. This is Herman Mostert here from Sport 24. I'd just like to know, Jake White made a comment on Saturday night that you guys have used your scrum. You've sort of over-relied on your scrum to get yourselves out of trouble. He mentioned the Pumas game where you used your scrum, and then on Saturday you couldn't use that because you never had one. I don't think you had one scrum put in until right up until the end. What's your comment on that, and what other areas are you guys going to look at maybe to assert yourselves in on Saturday against Griquas?
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty obvious question. If you think about we've got the Springbok front row, we'll be silly not to attempt to use that, you know what I'm saying? So that is obviously part of our plan, been part of our plan the whole year. Credit to them for not having too many errors to allow us scrums, because there were very little scrums in the game. So yeah, we were neutralized because because there were no scrums, so we couldn't use that. But we are looking at other tweaks in our gameplay. Dawe has been putting some plans together in attack, changing certain alignment of our shape, positioning, and where we do certain things. So, and then there's obviously a massive emphasis on our backs to apply pressure post kicks, and then that will hopefully put pressure on free cross or force them to do things that they won't normally do, and then we can see if we can pounce on them.
Thank you.
Just one from me, Labeeb, please. I just want to know if there are any injury concerns ahead of this weekend's game.
Not major injuries. There have been a couple of niggles after a hard game like the Bulls. They usually are, but it's being nursed. Nothing major at this point. But like I said, there might be some changes which we'll see when the coach announces the team for the weekend, the squad for the weekend.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Right, thanks, Michael.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thursday.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.